Hello and welcome to Constructing the Emperor of Mankind, Part 3. In this video, I'm going to show you what I have added to the diorama over these past couple of months. The past 2 weeks have been quite busy for me, so most of this progress was achieved during the months of December 2021 and January 2022. First, I would like to show you a miniature that I've been trying to get hold of for a very long time. I bought this Lex mechanic scribe off eBay as part of an Inquisition warband and wasted no time in getting it stripped down and ready to repaint. After his bath of methylated spirits, I gave him a good scrub with a toothbrush to make sure he was as clean as he could be. After this, I primed the miniature with Mechanicus Standard Grey and painted him up. I was really happy with the end result and felt that he fit into the diorama nicely. Once I completed the miniature, I did end up giving it an oil wash, just to grimdark it up a bit. Next up we have a Servitor, for all the heavy lifting jobs. This miniature was originally equipped with a heavy flamer, but since he'll have no use for one of those in the throne room, it was promptly removed. I ended up replacing the flamer with a coil of pipe rolled from green stuff. Once the green stuff had cured, the miniature was painted up to a similar style as the Lex mechanic. Over the course of this build, I've experimented with different skin tones and felt that characters such as the Servitor and the Scribe would benefit from a more sickly skin tone. Something I mentioned in my last video was cherubs. I needed more. I had my eye on a couple of potential cherub miniatures that I could add to my diorama. Cue the Triumph of St. Catherine. This set had a range of different cherubs that I knew I could repurpose to fit within my diorama. There was one cherub in particular that caught my eye. This cherub holding the banner. I thought he'd be the perfect addition to my diorama. I could imagine him all painted up and carrying a long list of the Emperor's decrees. I bet you're thinking, £65 for a whole box set just to get the cherubs? This is exactly what I thought. Luckily enough, I was provided one by the team over at Longbow Gaming. Box set safely in hand, I started assembling the parts from the set that I needed. Once assembled, I undercoated and painted up this perfect cherub. This long piece of parchment enabled me to add a range of decals plundered from different kits, as I really didn't fancy freehanding it like I'd done with smaller miniatures. Cherub complete, I found an ideal space for him to the left of the Emperor. This is probably my favourite miniature on the diorama so far. A few of you may have already noticed the diorama has a couple of cogitator units dotted around the throne room. As much as I like them, I felt that the throne room would benefit from a few more detailed and intriguing pieces of equipment. I ended up adding 3 new pieces of equipment and machinery. 2 of these were pieces that were custom built, using parts mainly from the Space Marine Storm Talon box set. Firstly, I constructed a piece that I can only describe as a shrine. This piece, as well as the others, were constructed in the spur of the moment when inspiration hit. The second piece is more of a star map, once again cobbled together from different bits and bobs. And finally, the third piece was a cogitator unit taken from a Battlefield Conservators set. There's also a sneaky servo skull hovering around the throne room floor. I've made a couple of these servo skulls by clipping off the old plastic wires and replacing them with thicker green stuff cable. This will give them more stability and will give me a better contact point for when I go to glue them down. I also designed and ordered a brass plaque for the diorama that turned up in my postbox the other day, and I am extremely happy with it. I do intend to mount the diorama on a wooden stand and attach the plaque to the front. I'm currently on the hunt for some nice wood to base the diorama, but failing that, I might have to get one custom made. So this is the end! Or is it? The diorama is now mainly complete, bar a few little details and its plinth. Once these are complete, I will probably upload a 1 or 2 minute showcase of the project so people can take a look. Admittedly, there is also one more significant miniature to be added to the diorama before completion, and that's the Forge World Tech Priest. I ordered and received him a couple of weeks ago, but haven't managed to get around to painting him yet due to time constraints. Earlier in the month, I did manage to scrub the mold release agent and assemble the miniature, but it's only recently that I've been able to pick up a brush and start painting again. I should also point out that I did end up converting the pose of the Tech Priest and adding some green stuff cable. The reason I did this was to give the miniature a pose that implies more interaction with his surroundings. Once he is completed, he will be posed next to a cogitator unit to look as though he's operating it, probably to keep the Emperor alive or something. I also want to take this opportunity to show one or two pieces that I'm going to add before the final showcase video. Here we have a permanently stationed Servitor. I noticed that both sides of the steps leading up to the Emperor were lacking some detail, so I've decided to add some small curios, this Servitor being one of them. This second piece is an ornate wall panel that I created using some spare terrain pieces. It's going to stand behind the cogitator units to the left of the diorama, and it will be painted gold to match the machinery. You may notice a painted tech priest in some of the footage, and this is because during the time it took to make this video, I actually got it painted. That's pretty much it for this project, but stay tuned for the diorama showcase in the near future. I'm going to try and upload a bit more frequently with some other projects that I'm working on, so if this might be your kind of thing, feel free to hang around. I also have an Instagram where I post regular updates. That being said, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.